Hi, I'm Nancy Blotner. At Caldwell University, we believe that all citizens should be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of State of Affairs with Steve Adubato has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health. PSE&G, committed to providing safe, reliable energy now and in the future. Caldwell University, the law firm of Gibbons, P.C. MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey. Englewood Health. And by Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ Advance Media. And by New Jersey Globe.
Welcome to State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. It's my pleasure to introduce two very distinguished business leaders in the state. Michele Siekerka, President and CEO, New Jersey Business and Industry Association, also co-chair of an organization called Opportunity New Jersey, and also Ralph Albert Thomas, CEO and Executive Director of New Jersey Society of CPAs and the Treasurer of Opportunity New Jersey. Good to see both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've had discussions before about the business community in the state, but let me ask you, Ralph, this organization, Opportunity New Jersey, is what and why?
Well, Steve, it's a nonpartisan group, and really the intent of it is for the group to bring to the attention, be the voice, if you will, of the business community and individuals here in New Jersey in terms of, the public policy that's being vetted and other things that are going on down in Trenton with the administration and the legislature.
But Michele, respectfully, you've been with us many times. We also have had the State Chamber of Commerce on with us, others. How is this organization different than the Business and Industry Association or the Chamber or any other business group?
So this is a larger coalition of like-minded associations coming together. So we have 16 business associations working together to establish that one voice. So it's all about leveraging, for example, the research we talk about all the time at BIA.
Sure. Now
we can leverage it through Opportunity New Jersey with these 16 partners. So coalition building in the business community is what this is all about.
What's the main message? See, we actually, after this segment, we're going to have a conversation with the head of the EDA, Economic Development Authority, also the head of Choose New Jersey as well. I'm sure they're going to have a certain perspective on Governor Murphy's economic agenda. Is there a perspective on the part of Opportunity NJ, or is it too soon?
Well, no. Well, the message for Opportunity New Jersey is make New Jersey affordable and do it now.
It's not, you say?
So everything in our plan, our agenda for Opportunity New Jersey is all about driving affordability and regional competitiveness, business competitiveness within the Northeast, which we are not. We are dead last in the Northeast.
What?
In everything, in taxes, cost of doing business. I mean, you think about what business owners have every day have to deal with, right? And the costs that we have to run a business and regulations and mandates.
But if the governor and his team argue that more jobs are coming into New Jersey, how does that square with what Michele just said?
Well, you may be getting more jobs in, but back to Michelle's point, the objective is to make us more competitive. When you look at the data that's out there, New Jersey is either next to last or dead last in a number of categories. So it's really to get us to be competitive so that we can be on the same, playing ground as New York, Pennsylvania, and other states in the region.
Devil's advocate.
Okay.
People often say, those who are bullish, if you will, on business in New Jersey, look at our location. Look at where we are in terms of the airports. Look at where we are in terms of our workforce, how talented they are. Look at where we are in terms of Philadelphia and New York. By the nature of those and other things, we're very competitive, you say?
First of all, we are bullish on New Jersey. We're the biggest cheerleaders you could possibly have in the state of New Jersey, right? However, and every time we speak, the first thing we do is we start with the assets of the state. Everything you said is a tremendous asset in the state of New Jersey. We don't take that away. However, the harsh reality around all those assets is we're the most expensive state in the nation. We need property tax reform. We need pension reform. And this is a
back up. I'm sorry, Michelle. Property tax reform, isn't that a question of what every property owner pays for in his or her home? And you're talking about public employee pension reform. What does that have to do with the business community?
Because the business community pays those costs. We pay 40% of the property taxes across the state of New Jersey.
You mean corporate taxes?
Absolutely. No, I'm talking about property tax because businesses own land in the state of New Jersey.
So we often talk about property as if it's only residential property.
Yeah, but it is the business community that also contributes to that. And that's where we're not competitive with our, New York and other jurisdictions.
And Governor Murphy, and I promise we will have him soon on State of Affairs, he has said we need to increase taxes on the wealthiest people in the state in order to achieve what he calls tax fairness. I'll get you.
Okay.
We do not have a revenue problem in the state of New Jersey. We have a spending problem in the state of New Jersey. The state's debt has increased 382% over the last 10 years.
Okay, that is Democratic and Republican administrations. It was
Correct.
the Christie administration before the Murphy administration, and was it going up during that time as well?
Yes, and before that, this is decades. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an economic issue.
Jump back in, Ralph.
Yeah, we reach out to our members, and part of the discussions that they have with their clients, both individual and business.
These are CPA firms.
These are CPA firms, and part of the discussion is, should I stay in New Jersey? And our members, in a recent poll that we took with them, 75% of them suggested to their clients, their businesses, that they ought to consider leaving New Jersey.
Come on. Three-quarters of them are saying leave the state?
Leave the state.
We got the Jersey Shore. We've got resort activities.
We've got
parks. We've got all these great things.
We've got these great assets, but it is the cost to be able to have those assets, and that is what I think drives that message that comes from my members.
So if the governor argues, and he in fact gets an increase in the millionaire's tax, how would this impact the agenda of your organization?
Taxes matter. Taxes absolutely matter. When you sit and you line up the factors that you're going to consider when you're going to live somewhere and work somewhere and grow somewhere and stay somewhere, taxes matter. We can't say that they don't. So it's great that we have these tremendous assets. And again, we tout those assets every day. You know what? We're willing to pay a premium for all the good assets in the state of New Jersey.
Not to mention we have pretty good schools. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Awesome schools, ranked #1 in the nation, right?
By Education Week, go ahead.
But to that point, exactly, right? We're willing to pay a premium. We're now beyond super premium. And let me just say that #1, K-12, outstanding, excellent. But the cost to deliver that, over $21,000 on average per pupil per year times 13 years. Massachusetts, #2, is doing it at half the cost.
But what would the governor do? If the governor wanted to be responsive to the argument that you and your colleagues are making an opportunity in New Jersey, what would he do? He's not going to lower the income tax. He can't lower property taxes by himself.
But I think it goes back to a comment that Michelle said. It's a spend issue. How do we do things more efficiently here in the state? We have duplication of effort in a number of areas.
Talking about merging school districts and communities, shared services.
Absolutely. When you look at in the Path to Progress report, that was one of the suggestions, that we needed to think about going to a regional school system.
That Senate President Sweeney, check out our website. It'll be up right now. Senator Sweeney talked about that.
I sat on that committee and on that work group, and that was a big issue there. How do we do things more efficient? We took a look at the cost to deliver the services and goods and for the organization, and that was the big issue. How do we do these things more efficiently?
Well, to Ralph and to Michelle, I want to thank you for sharing this perspective of Opportunity New Jersey. And again, right after this, we're going to have a different conversation about some of the same issues with people who see it a little differently. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back right after this.
To watch more State of Affairs with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We welcome Greg Lalevee, Business Manager for International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825. Good to see you, Greg.
Good to see you, thanks.
A whole bunch of things to talk about, infrastructure issues, the Gateway Tunnel, the future of the work that you and your colleagues do and how technology is affecting it. But let's get this out of the way. Last time you were with us, I'm calling this Greg Lalevee 2.0. You look fitter.
Thank you.
Get it out of the way. Tell folks.
Lost 117 pounds so far.
By the way, I heard a gasp in the control. It's, wow. We'll talk offline about your secret, or we'll put it on our website. But well done.
Thank you.
And keep working out and taking care of yourself. In that spirit, the condition of the union movement in this country, lots going on, a lot of questions about it. Federal administration doing what they're doing or not. But what you have said to me, and I should make it clear, I've done a significant amount of leadership development for Local 825, and so leadership is what we talk about. You're big on innovation, technology, and all of a sudden there's this educational component to the future of people who are engineers. What does that mean?
For the future of people who are going to be operating engineers.
Define the difference.
Well, for those of us who do the hands-on operating of heavy construction equipment or repair of heavy construction equipment, there's a technology move going on where GPS is moving into machinery. There's artificial intelligence, there's autonomous control, and we're taking a good hard look at how to educate our members in two veins. One, we want to take our existing membership and give them the platform to transition into the technology, and then we want to be able to capture those young people as they're moving through STEM and MEME programs through their high schools or VOTEC high schools, and bring them into the world of operating engineers.
But the bottom line, Greg, is that, and we've talked about this a lot, and it's important people understand this, that the role of operating engineers has changed dramatically, largely because of technology and innovation.
Always, and over the last 100 years, the operating engineers have managed the engines running the equipment, moving from steam to diesel engines. They've managed the change from cable control to hydraulic control. And we're going to manage this change too and become masters of our craft and understand the technology.
One more question before we get to Gateway. Some of the teaching methods use a lot of video and high-tech stuff. I don't have any other word to describe it. Describe it.
Well, there are apps that are developed that'll simulate heavy equipment operation. There are simulators. We own several that simulate dirt-moving equipment, cranes, drills, concrete pumps. With the magic of the internet and Bluetooth technology, we can simulate two cranes picking a large object, and you could be on a simulator in California, and I could be at the one at our training center, yet we're working in tandem. So it offers great training opportunities for our people.
You know, it's interesting on this, even though I'm a student of leadership, I've talked about that a lot here, someone a heck of a lot smarter than me once said, innovate or die. You say?
Absolutely, agree with it. Because this is going to be the technology. Autonomous equipment means there's no physical operator in the seat, but there's still the computer programming and everything that has to go on in the background. And so there will still be work associated with it.
So again, people should never confuse the fact that there's artificial intelligence, more technology and innovation than ever before, but the human component will, whether it's the operating engineers or any industry, I'm not here to be on a soapbox, but you will always need, even in media, you will always need the human component. Gateway. Where are we with the tunnel? Is it happening? And President Trump, in or not in with the feds?
Well, a new application went in August, and some of the parameters changed.
Who's on the application? Is it New York, New Jersey?
Port Authority, Amtrak. But what's happened is Gateway Development Corporation went out and priced some things. Governor Murphy and Governor Cuomo got out front and got some of the front-end things done, opened the door to possible design build, made sure that mitigation plans were in place.
What does that mean, mitigation plans?
Well, for environmental mitigation.
Got it.
But by having all these things in place, they were able to define upfront costs better. So the application that went in actually shows the cost of the tunnel to be $1.4 billion less than the previous application. So it looks like a better application.
You know, I was watching NJTV News, did a great story recently. Check it out. Governor Christie started the new Christie Institute, if you will, at Seton Hall Law School, and he had Governor Cuomo on. And one of the things they talked about was the Gateway Tunnel, and they talked about a meeting they had with the president, in which the president said directly to them, according to them, I'm in, the feds will fund it. A, what happens if the feds do not fund the Gateway Tunnel? And B, does that mean it's dead?
Well, right now, the funding, the application that went in, the grant that they're seeking is about half the cost of the tunnel. So at least we're getting to a point where we're going to know whatever the metrics might be that the federal government or the administration would expect. In this application, Amtrak has moved their buy-in up $600 million.
They're putting more in, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so there's more of a stakeholder piece of it. The Port Authority has made more of a commitment to it. The two governors and the state legislatures in each state passed legislation and created the Gateway Development Commission, which can receive federal funds, but also track costs and manage the project.
Greg, got about a minute left. Let's do this. By the way, we're talking, if you're listening on the audio side, Greg Lalevee from International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825. He's a business manager there. Real quick, if Gateway doesn't happen, 20 seconds, what happens to us?
The economy in this area is completely under distress. It's 20 to 30% of the GDP of the nation flows on the Northeast Corridor. 13% of Manhattan's workforce goes through those tunnels daily. What that would cascade to in property values in northern New Jersey along the rail lines is horrific. The New York Times just did a great story about one of the rail lines that goes from Middletown, New Jersey into the city, and just what late trains is doing. So shutting down the tunnels would kill the economy around here.
Greg Lalevee, 30 seconds on wind power.
Wind power, we're hoping to see in the next 25 to 30 months. There's a lease that's been approved that would put 96 wind turbines off the coast of New Jersey. So we're looking forward to what that would mean in terms of onshore construction, doing the manufacturing, and then possibly going out there in the ocean and putting those in there. So a great job opportunity across the economy.
Greg Lalevee, 2.0, business manager, International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825. Greg, thank you, Greg.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this.
To watch more State of Affairs with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We're now joined by Tim Sullivan, CEO, New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and Jose Lozano, President and CEO of Choose New Jersey. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Great seeing you. Thanks so much for having us.
Now, as we do this program, it's the beginning of October. Just back from India.
India.
Describe the trip.
6 days, 7 cities, over 50 meetings, and over 1,000 engagements with companies.
And the governor was right there?
Governor was there with a full supportive delegation.
Yeah. Describe the goal of something like this.
Well, the goals, I think, were several. It was primarily an economic development mission. New Jersey is one of the biggest recipients of foreign direct investment from Indian companies already, and we want to grow that as much as we can. New Jersey and India have longstanding cultural ties and people-to-people relationships. That is an enormous asset in trying to build a relationship with an economy that's as big and as growing as fast as India. So this was about both short-term, getting some jobs announced right here in New Jersey, but also building a long-term relationship with India.
Let's talk about some of these jobs.
Yeah.
How many are we talking about?
Over 1,200 jobs.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Jose, we've known each other a long time. Potential jobs, real jobs, what are we talking
real
about?
jobs.
These are real jobs that CEOs looked at the governor and looked at us and said, we're going to commit to expanding our companies and our footprint in New Jersey. It's a great place that we're doing business there. We're really successful, and we're ready to expand. And so they made the commitments, and within 3 companies alone, we over 1,200 jobs.
Are there certain types?
That's just the immediate jobs. I think
Those are
long-term,
immediate.
over the next year, I think the governor and our team collectively believe, we'll probably double or triple that
Yep,
number
I agree.
over time.
Are there certain types of companies?
Yeah, mostly in the IT and the professional services section of the House.
Yeah.
What makes it interesting, we've had so many conversations with those who have argued, New Jersey's not attractive. It's the business climate. The economics don't work. The taxes are too high. Regulation. And you come back and you tell me about these jobs. By the way, before you even answer, let's just say that Choose New Jersey and the EDA working with us on an innovation series and being very supportive of that. So go ahead. Make the case, because some others see it differently.
This is a really, really easy narrative. It's a great place to not only raise a family, it's a great place for you to establish a business. You have easy access to New Jersey is a global gateway into all of North America. And these companies who provide professional services and IT support see the potential of not only being in New Jersey, but having great access to all their clients.
And they're not asking about taxes. They're not asking about regulation. Come on.
No.
The main focus of our conversation was really about talent.
What do you mean?
Can they get the workforce that they need to fill the jobs that they want to hire for here
How
in
do
New
we rate
Jersey?
that way, Tim?
Toward the very top of the pack, if not number one. Having the number one public school system in America matters a lot. Having a great network of higher education institutions matters a lot. Having things like the number one concentration of scientists and engineers in our economy anywhere in the world per square mile is an enormously important selling point when you're talking about companies that are in the innovation and sort of talent-driven spaces.
We had Regina Gia check our website. She was on recently, and here's what she said. Okay. Well, certainly we're talking about, I asked her about what makes the state attractive or not. She said, well, certainly the tax burden. We're at the bottom. You were just talking about the top. By the way, it was, I think, Education Week that selected our public schools as the best in the nation.
Number one.
But here's what Regina Gia said. Former Chief of Staff, in fact, to Governor Chris Christie, heads the organization called Help Me on the Garden State Initiative. We're at the bottom, close to the bottom on every list. Cost of running a business, cost of living, property taxes, you name it. So the cost of operating here is falling behind other states.
Look, yes, it is expensive to do business here. Yes, it's expensive. The taxes are expensive, but you get what you pay for. Being the #1 school districts in the world, in the country, doesn't come cheap. There's a cost associated. We have roads and infrastructure that we're investing in. We move people and products better than anyone else in the country, and with all of that comes with a cost.
Yeah. And I think the argument is that Governor Murphy inherited a stagnant economy. I think we'd agree with that. We've got an economic development plan that was released a little more than a year ago that's got a robust series of a set of initiatives to grow the economy, particularly the innovation-centric parts of the economy, because we're not seeing fast enough job growth and fast enough wage growth that we'd like to see to really support.
You're not satisfied with it?
Absolutely not. No. We got a lot of work to do. We're pleased that unemployment's at a record low. We're pleased that more people are working in New Jersey today than at any point since they've started keeping statistics. That being said, we've got a lot of work to do.
So let's do this. It's interesting. The other part of this, I'm fascinated. You talk about these jobs. 1,200 confident?
Yeah, about 12. Oh, yeah, very confident.
And potentially more.
On the lower side. That's on the low side.
What role did tax incentives or credits play in that, Mr. Sullivan?
Zero. Unequivocally zero.
Hold on.
3 companies made commitments to add 1,250 jobs. No tax incentives.
Does it not even come up?
In those conversations, it didn't. I would say...
They don't ask what's the deal? How do you... they sweeten this deal for us?
No. So we were, we had, as Jose said, we probably, between one-on-one meetings and group settings, we probably were with several hundred, if not 1,000 companies. The number of times with me that the tax incentive conversation came up, a handful, less than a handful, something like that. The further away you get from America and from New Jersey, the more the fundamentals of New Jersey stand out so brightly. To be in the heart of the Northeast Corridor, that's 20% of the U.S. GDP. We sit literally geographically in the middle of it, connected by railroad and other infrastructure to that part of the economy. The talent pool that we have, those are the fundamentals that people really care about first and foremost.
Bring it closer to home. Someone watching says, "Oh, great, that's India. Indian companies in India coming here, new jobs." What does it mean? What could it mean? Should it mean for the citizens of this state?
Number one, these are jobs that are going to be here in New Jersey, right? They're going to be hiring local folks, local talents, and growing the state's economy right here, right at home.
And New Jersey's home to several hundred international companies that make New Jersey their U.S. or their North American headquarters. They employ a ton of people in New Jersey. This is more international investment into New Jersey is a good thing for New Jersey.
When you're there, it's interesting. You're saying when you move away, they don't ask about some of the closer to home issues, but they do have concerns, right? Is workforce at the top?
For international companies, yeah. Talent and workforce is always the #1 topic of discussion.
Yep.
Who do we have? What do we have access to?
Okay, the other part I'm curious about. By the way, who financed this?
Choose New Jersey is a not-for-profit organization that raised funds, and we supported the mission. But individuals who participated and attended with us on the delegation paid their own way as well.
That being said, what role directly did Governor Murphy, and by the way, those of you wondering, we're definitely going to have Governor Murphy on. He will speak for himself, not just about his economic plan and the innovation initiative, which we're very much committed to, but a whole range of other issues. Talk about the governor's role in this.
Governor likes to refer to himself as the head of sales for the state, and that was on
the head of sales.
Head of sales. And that was on full display all throughout India. He was, back-to-back meetings, either in, making the pitch in group settings or in one-on-one sessions with CEOs. He was, I've never seen anything quite like it, to have a chief executive making the case that strongly and with that much energy, meeting after meeting after meeting. And it was really important. These are global decision makers and global business leaders who employ, in some cases, several 100,000 people.
Could go anywhere, Tim?
Could go anywhere. And they wanted to look the chief executive, they wanted to look the governor in the eye, the person who's responsible for the state's future, and say, what's going on in New Jersey? Tell us what's going on there before we make this big decision.
Was the First Lady involved as well?
Absolutely. And she too had her own schedule and participated with her own engagements, mostly with universities and colleges, but had an opportunity opportunity to talk about engagement, inclusiveness.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Jose. In the time we have left, some of the academic institutions that we work with very closely, some of them said that they were on this trip.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. We had Rutgers, Princeton, Jersey City University, Rowan, and NJIT. So
Why?
we have 5.
What do they have to do with it?
The transatlantic relationships, not only with businesses and companies and other peer universities, sharing research, sharing resources. NJIT is going to be great. NJIT is going to be hosting...
New Jersey Institute of Technology around the corner.
New Jersey Institute of Technology right here in Newark is going to be hosting about a dozen or so startup companies.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. And Steve,
follow up on the higher ed end.
Yeah, the secret sauce of the innovation economy is partnerships between higher education and the real economy. Having representatives of 5 of our great institutions with us really made that very tangible when we were on this trip. We would say, these are the folks we're working with and these are the relationships we can introduce you to if you're going to come to New Jersey and expand or build your business. It made a big difference. Having Princeton, the #1 ranked university in America, in New Jersey, what an amazing calling card to go with the #1 school system in America.
Jose and Tim, I want to thank you for joining us, providing some perspective. People may have read about this trip to India, but getting a better sense. By the way, I'm sure there's a lot of pre-planning going on.
Oh, yeah, it was about a year in the works.
Have you recovered yet?
Seriously?
I'm just starting to get some good sleep right now.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you. For State of Affairs, I'm Steve Adubato. See you next time.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, PSC&G, Caldwell University, the law firm of Gibbons PC, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, Englewood Health, and by Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ Advance Media and by New Jersey Globe.
It feels like I've opened my eyes again, and the colors are golden and bright again. There's a song in my heart, I feel like I belong. It's a better place since you came along. It's a better place since you